This is the 11.3a worksheet, our second day here, working in section 11.3. So we're going to be multiplying monomials by polynomials, just making sure that we follow our product properties, adding our exponents when we have a similar variable. Now let's jump in. Number one, multiplying these, 4 times 2 is 8, and x times x is x squared. Number two, we're going to distribute to both of them. So 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 5 is 15. Real basic one there. Multiplying here, 4x times 2 is 8x. The x follows along. And 4x times x, the 4 just basically stays. It's technically times a 1. And x times x is x squared. If you were going to have that in the correct standard form, the x squared would go up front, but not super important right now. All three of these are going to get multiplied by 2y. So this is 6y. Add the exponents, it's 3 plus 20. Y and y is y squared. And then minus, because of the negative, 12y. Let me grab a calculator. So we multiply here, it's just going to be 0.2m to the 9th when you add those together. And then 0.2 times negative 3 is going to be a negative 0.6. Since there is no variables here, this m to the 4th just tags along. All right, multiplying here, this is coefficient of 1, so it's just going to be negative 1/4 when you multiply. The a and the a squared become a to the 3rd, and b just tags along. Here we're going to get a positive, negative times a negative. 1/4 of 6, so that would end up 6 over 4, and that would be 3 over 2. You can use your calculator if you need to. A times a is a squared, b times b is b squared. And then 1/4 times 9, now it's a negative. And you're going to get, think of it as 9 over 1. You're going to get 9 on top and 4 on the bottom. 9/4. And there are no variables here, so just the regular a and b follow through. All right, kind of two steps here. First this, then combine like terms. So n times 2n is 2n squared. N times 9 is 9n. This is going to be negative 6 times n, so negative 6n. We'll put those together. And then here, a negative times a negative is a positive 6. So we've got 2n squared, nothing to combine it with. 9n minus 6n is positive, so plus 3n plus 6. Same idea here. Multiplying x and a can't combine. Don't do anything with the exponents. It's just 2ax. And then 1 times x is x. 6a times this. Now that's a negative 1. So this is going to be negative 6ax. So it'll combine with the 2 here because they're both an ax. And then over here, that is 54 and the a tags along. All right, so we can combine these two together. That's negative 4ax. And everything else stays separate because they're just an x or just an a. So plus x plus 54a. Okay, filling in the blanks. 2 times x created the 2x, so 2 times what created the 18? That would just be 9. 6n times the 9 got me the 54n. Now here I ended up with an n squared, so this term has an n times n is n squared, and it's 6 times 4 to get the 24. X squared times x squared is x to the 4th. When I multiply to get this, the x squared is still there, and there's just a y added on, which means this was a y. And what did I multiply these by to get this? Well, I know I'm going to ignore this for a second, and I just see this as a negative from a positive, so I know that this is negative. What did I times 7 by to get 21? 3. And if I check it with the 2, multiply here, I'd get a negative 6y. All right, working with the representations now. So when we talk about the sum, first we got to look at these areas. This is x squared, x times x. This is x squared. This is 1 times x, so it's x and x. So talking about my sum, you're just looking at all of that area there. There's 2x squareds plus 2x's. If I'm going to express it as length times width, it's this length, which is x, times this length, same as this, which is 2x plus 2. X and x is 2x, 1 and 1 is 2. So you're multiplying those together, x times 2x plus 2 to show length times width. And if you go ahead and you distributed this, you should get the original one, 2x squared plus 2x. And you do. And so we've shown that these are equal. All right, these are all x squareds. So there's 4 of them. And x, 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 plus 6 x's. If I was looking at it as length times width, it is 2x times 2x plus 3. And if you multiply this, you'd get the 4x squared and you get the 6x. So these are equal to each other. You can write it either direction, just show that they're equal. And we're all set on this side. So let's go to the second page. A little more practice with this. Distributing negative 24a multiply positive 9b. Negative 14. The a and the b don't do anything. They just combine. So ab, going to get a negative, so minus 28. B times b is b squared. 5 times 6 is 30. X and y just combine. 40y squared. So the only time those exponents are going to change is when you're multiplying a y times a y or an x times an x. The variable times itself. If it's different variables, they just combine. So here, 14a squared, the a squared just follows along. 42ab just follows along. Negative 28b squared just follows along. All right, this will be a negative 7. X to the first and x squared is x to the third, and the y stays plus 14. X and x is x squared, y to the third, and y is y to the fourth. Minus 28. No x, so this one stays. Y to the third, y to the second, that's y to the fifth. 14, these are different, so a squared b. Multiply here, it's going to be a negative 7. The a is just going to stay, and the b become b squared. Minus 42. The b's combine to make b to the third. Okay, down at the bottom here, we're going to solve these equations, so actually find out what does m equal for both of them. All right, first thing we need to do is simplify and combine some like terms. Now, as I look across this, I don't need to distribute anything because it's a plus, and this is the only m squared I see, so that's going to stay. I got a 7m and a 5m, so that's a positive 12m. And a 120 minus 10, that's a positive, so plus 110 equals 0. So I do have an m squared and an m. It's quadratic. I'm going to use the quadratic formula. A is negative 2. B is 12. And C is 110. All right. Plugging into this. Negative b would be negative 12. Plus or minus 12 squared minus 4 times negative 2 times 110 all over 2 times negative 2. So let's worry about the inside here first. Plug it in. 12 squared minus 4 times negative 2 times 110. You get 1024 underneath the square root. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And you're going to get 32. So all of this becomes 32. So I still have negative 12 plus or minus 32. And then down here, that's negative 4. Split this into two pieces now. Negative 12 plus 32 over negative 4. Negative 12 minus 32 over negative 4. So This is 20 over negative 4, which is negative 5. And this is negative 44 over negative 4, and that's positive 11. So my answer is negative 5 and positive 11. All right, next one. First thing you should do when you see subtraction is distribute so you don't make a mistake. So this becomes, it's a negative times a negative, positive m squared. Negative times a negative, positive 6m. Negative times a positive, negative 2. And I'm going to bring all this down just so I don't make a mistake. This is positive, so plus. All right, I've got a negative 2m squared and a m squared. That's a 1, so negative 2 plus 1. It's negative 1, negative m squared. It's a 1m and a 6m, so 7m. 100 minus 2, positive 98. All right, A is negative 1, B is 7, and C is 98. So plug it into this. Negative B would be negative 7. 7 squared minus 4 times negative 1 times 98 over 2 times negative 1. All right, so let's do the discriminant here. 7 squared minus 4 times negative 1 times 98. You're going to get square root of 441. Let's do that. It's 21. So negative 7 plus or minus 21 over negative 2. Split it in 2. So we get 14 over negative 2. That's negative 7. This is negative 28 divided by negative 2, which is positive 14. So negative 7 and 14 are my final answers.